Hello, joining us for the second game of the day here at the Canadian Bocce Championship. We have a game that is in the category of the BC3s where they are going to be playing with a ramp. Joining us on the court is Ryan Rondeau from Alberta. He will be throwing out the red balls today. And Eric Bussière from Quebec is going to be using the blue balls. Again, the color of the balls are determined in the call room. There is a coin toss, and the athletes, whoever wins the coin toss, gets a chance to choose the color of the ball that they will be playing with, and that determines what court or which side of which box they'll be playing out of. So there's a bit of an advantage there to be winning the toss. Donc ici, nous sommes à la deuxième partie en catégorie BC3 du championnat canadien ici en Victoria. Les athlètes sont en période d'échauffement et ont quelques minutes pour lancer les balles au début de la partie. Ces athlètes ici vont jouer avec des rampes. Eric, ici, c'est un vétéran. Il vient du Québec. Et Ryan Rondeau, je vois de l'Alberta. Pour moi, il est assez nouveau d'avoir des athlètes représenter l'Alberta. Nous sommes contents de voir ça. On est toujours dans l'expansion du sport. Donc, si ça vous intéresse, il y a toujours un moyen de rejoindre l'association pour la paralysie cérébrale ou bien Boccia Canada. Vous êtes intéressé à savoir où jouer dans votre région. Donc ici, nous sommes au championnat canadien. Donc les athlètes ici sont représentés dans les différentes provinces. So athletes here are coming from different provinces in order to compete at the Canadian Championship. Again, the sport is always recruiting. So if you are interested in ever finding out more and how to get involved in bocce, sport is open to athletes with cerebral palsy or other physical conditions that could be you can have a sport for yourself. Donc voici, on se prépare pour le premier lancer. Here we go. We're going to be starting the first toss. It's red that starts the game, so they're always first to throw. Again, you'll notice here that they have a ramp that is going to be adjusted. Once they're ready to throw the ball, no piece of equipment is allowed to touch the line. So first ball out for Ryan Rondeau, playing from Alberta here. He put his jack ball within the in play. As you notice, there's a V line there that the jack ball must absolutely cross that line in order to be in play. Any other balls after that, there's no limit. I mean, obviously, they have to stay within the boundaries of the sidelines. So there goes the first ball. La première balle est lancée par Ryan Rondeau. Et ici, Eric va se préparer, Eric du Québec, va se préparer pour lancer sa première balle. Ici, avec les joueurs de rampe, il y a un assistant sportif qui est responsable de placer la balle, aider l'athlète sous ses instructions, de placer la rampe, de placer la balle sur la rampe. Mais c'est la responsabilité de l'athlète de pousser la balle afin de faire le jeu. Et l'assistant sportif ne peut jamais regarder le terrain de jeu durant la partie. C'est une pénalité. Donc, Eric, very good shot. And he is able to beat his opponent shot with one ball, and that's the goal. Use the least amount of ball possible in order to make the shot. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I saw the referee signaling for red to play, but it was blue again. So I take that back. He has to shoot again. Donc, je me suis trompée. J'ai cru voir l'arbitre indiquer rouge, mais c'est Eric qui doit lancer encore. Donc, son premier lancer n'était pas assez, mais inquiétez-vous pas, Eric avait beaucoup d'expérience, un très grand joueur. Et voilà, la deuxième balle est lancée. Il va dans la poussée. Maintenant, c'est bel et bien le rouge qui doit jouer. Donc, red is now, the second shot is up for red, and Eric has placed two very strong balls in front of the of the jack, and we'll see what Ryan is able to do with that. As I spoke earlier, the sport assistant, they're the individuals in front. They are in the BC3 category. They are part of the play. They're part of the team. When their athlete medals, they medal because it's very, very hard work. They stay with the athlete, place the ball on the ramp, but they cannot make any decisions for the athlete. They must absolutely, the athlete is responsible for the actual release of the ball. If the sport assistant even touches or is involved in any of the play, it's a penalty. So here's, again, he's struggling with his pointer, and he has to go again. The athlete must throw out. He keeps playing until he is able to beat the score, beat the shot of his opponent. So as we see here, Eric took 2 balls to beat Ryan's shot from Alberta. So now he's aiming. He gets the aim, tells the sport assistant to push the ramp to the right or to the left. He gives it height also. So the height of the ramp will give more velocity to the ball. Focus here. And you see how he uses his pointer in order to, he needs to be the one releasing the ball. And he's struggling a little bit right now, but there it is. Okay, so wasn't able to get in the action there. The ball veered to the right a bit. So more adjustment needed. So as you notice, the 2 ramps there, different designs. The athletes actually go through a lot of big lengths in order to create the perfect ramp for themselves. The ramps at the beginning of the history was like PVC piping, very heavy. So then we went from that to wood, and now we're looking at all kinds of very, very creative designs for the ramps. And again, here is the other shot, and that's very good. But again, just seeming to not being able to bring his ramp to aim right on the target. So he's got 2 balls left. With Eric here, I think that Ryan should be thinking about creating a little bit of a block there because Eric is known to be able to bust through any wall. So might be a strategy to think about now instead of scoring, creating a bit of a block. Again, he's just short, tends to be veering to the right of the target. Donc ici, il reste une balle à Ryan de l'Alberta pour pouvoir créer un certain bloc, parce que s'il ne bloque pas Eric, je connais très bien Eric, il va être capable de possiblement faire pas mal de dommages dans la prochaine manche. Donc on va voir qu'est-ce qu'il réussit à faire. Donc Ryan doit essayer de créer un peu, de fermer l'espace entre le cochonnet et ses balles rouges. Qu'est-ce qu'il va faire ici? So we'll see what he does. Hopefully he can able to get a block in there. And well, being behind is not a bad thing with the ramp players, but Eric has a lot of experience here. We'll see. He comes out to see the play. Athletes are allowed to come out again to come and look at the vantage view from on top of the balls. It's much better view than from the sidelines. What we might think is very, very close is there might be, the half a ball distance. So again, that's why the referee has to stay close and have a good vantage view from the top. Donc ici, Eric se prépare pour lancer ses balles, étant donné que son adversaire a tout lancé ses 6 balles. Donc maintenant, Eric va se préparer pour lancer sa 3e balle. So Eric here is getting ready for his third shot. In this first end at the Canadian Bocce Championship here in Victoria, BC, the athletes are at the first day of individual play. Et voici le lancer de Eric. Eric a été capable de... Je pense pas que sa balle va... C'est dur à dire combien de points qu'il y a ici, mais c'est pas important. Eric a 2 autres balles. Eric has 2 more balls in order to create some more points. And so he is going to definitely try to get some more points in there. Oh. Donc là, l'arbitre va vérifier parce qu'on a demandé combien de points. Je pense qu'elle a indiqué 2. On va voir. C'est jamais finalisé avant la dernière balle parce qu'on pourrait pousser la balle accidentellement. Donc, Eric se prépare. Eric is getting ready for his... he's got 2 more balls left, so we'll see what he does with this one. Okay, so joining us today at the Bocce Championship here in Victoria, we are at the second game. This is a BC3 category game. We have Ryan Rondeau from Alberta, and there's the shot from Eric. And we have Eric Bussière from Quebec. First end, the score is undetermined right now. But you see the sport assistant signaling the hand up is to ask what is the potential point right now. It's not official, but the referee can give the athlete an idea of the score. So Eric is coming to see for himself what he can do. And you see the referee has also indicated the possibility of 3, I think. But again, can't be confirmed until everything is measured. We have seen in my experience with Bocce is he decides to concede the last shot. So he ends the end is finished as soon as all the balls are thrown out, and this is a conceded ball. That means he sees that there's a potential of danger of creating or reversing the score. He is happy with the fact that he is she's going to measure, so we don't know the score yet, but he has the impression that if he threw out that ball, knowing of the density of the ball, maybe he knew what kind of ball he was using. Donc les athlètes, parfois, comme là, il vient de concéder la dernière balle parce que c'est trop dangereux de lancer sa dernière balle. Surtout lui, comme je vous dis, les balles ont différentes densités, puis peut-être que Eric était pris avec une balle très très dure qui avait beaucoup de vitesse et ne voulait pas changer le pointage par accidentellement pousser le cochonnet vers la balle rouge qui est placée en arrière. Donc l'arbitre maintenant va confirmer les points. J'attends pour son verdict. Il va... Bon, c'est confirmé 2 points pour Éric Bussière du Québec après cette première manche et 2-0 Québec. Là, les assistants sportifs ont le droit de se retourner et venir chercher les balles de leurs athlètes. So now we're getting ready for second end. And we will have Eric will be throwing out his jack ball. Again, they tend to throw on their side, away from their opponent. Not sure where Eric will be throwing out his jack ball. So sometimes they opt for the first 3 meters. Obviously, beyond the V line is the goal, that's for sure. And some athletes will decide to play mid-court. So think the referee is explaining some of the particulars of the rules right now because they need to announce obviously the last minute of play, 30 seconds. So all the scorekeepers here are volunteers, and some are new to the sport. And again, we are at the early stage of this tournament, and the first day, the second game of the day, so there might be some little adjustment as we go along. Here we go. Sport assistant is adjusting for Eric his ramp and for that crucial first ball. And again, like I said, the ramps, some of them are very, very sophisticated. And there he is, and he will be throwing out his jack ball right now. And so, as you notice here, Eric is opting for a short game right now, and he placed his jack ball pretty close to that sideline. In the call room, both athletes have the opportunity to check or kind of evaluate the opponent's balls, and they will see that he has a lot of hard ones. He'll play close to the line, and in the hopes that the opponent will overshoot all his balls or maybe throw them out. So here he is with the first ball. This is crucial. This is one of the most important shot of the game, and that was very, very nice, close to the jack. So it is now Ryan Rondeau from Alberta to try to beat that shot. Again, he has to keep shooting until he beats it. So if it takes one ball to do it, then that's kudos. Donc l'adversaire maintenant va essayer de battre ce lancer. Il doit lancer il peut prendre toutes ses balles, une balle. On essaye de prendre le moins de balles possible pour contrer le point. So he's lining up his ramp. Sport assistant is doing that for them. Under his guidance, they cannot, again, look at the play. They just follow the instructions of the athlete. All equipment has to stay within the box. So there's a little tray for the balls. The base of the ramp. Here we go with the shot. Sorry, and see, it seems like Ryan is dealing with his balls are a little bit on the hard side. They look like they are again of a harder consistency, so they tend to roll a little faster. If you're just joining us now, we are in the second end of this Canadian Championship in Victoria for bocce, and this is a BC3 players, Ryan Rondeau from Alberta and Eric Bussière from Quebec, and the score after the first end is 2-0. So knowing that he has a hard ball, I think he went really soft, hoping he created a little block for himself. Again, it's not always about who gets to the jack. It's building the play. A lot of the more experienced players will tend to be less jack-driven. That means they build up the play. They'll create blocks. They'll put a ball on the right or the left of the play in order to create space or to build the shot for the point. Donc ici, il se prépare pour son troisième lancer. Et voilà. Okay. Donc, on voit ici que là, il y a des balles en avant. Ça peut créer un peu de problème pour l'athlète, son adversaire. Encore d'autres ajustements vont être nécessaires. So he's making some further adjustments there, trying to get in there closer. So you see in the ramp there's a little chute that goes up and down. That's to, again, to create speed of the ball. But with the length of his ramp, they need extension sometimes if they, push. They might need extension if the opponent, you see, as Eric's ramp is really, really high, he keeps all his extension in order to save up some time. They're already there, but he can see through his ramp. But Ryan here, he has opted not putting in his extension in because he's playing in the front of the court, so he doesn't really need all that extra hardware on the top of his ramp. But they're in the box and they're ready for him in case his opponent goes to and play in the back of the court. So again, he tends to have this little shoe that comes up and down. The ball sits on that. And as you know, some of the athletes have pointers on their heads, some use their hands. They're able to change a position. The sport assistant can also help place the pointer on the ball, but again, they needs to be away from the ball and make sure that the referee sees that it's the athletes releasing the ball. And there it is. And again, as you see, he's around. And as you see the balls rolling, they're very hard. They can go to the right and to the left, and to my experience, these balls are probably a little bit harder than he would like. But he's probably just, you know, over time, athletes starts replacing some of their balls, and they have specialty balls, so like a ball that'd be a little harder to crash through things, or a softer one in placement. It depends on the experience. And these bocce balls are very, very expensive. A kit can run you up to $500, so it's very, very expensive. Not to mention the price of the ramp, but he's in there. So again, a lot of traffic in front, beaucoup de trafic en avant du cochonnet. On va voir qu'est-ce que Eric va pouvoir faire. Il va avoir la stratégie peut-être de nettoyer un peu la région. S'il y a de l'espace, il ne se bordera pas des balles, il va essayer de les éviter. Mais il se peut qu'il décide d'aller en force au début pour juste se créer de l'espace. On va voir qu'est-ce qu'il décide de faire. Donc là, il regarde un peu, là, il y a une carte, Eric, là, il y a toutes ces mesures. Ces athlètes, these athletes, they practice and practice their ramp. They know their ramp. It's like an extension of themselves. They got numbers, and he knows exactly which ball, which height, how fast it will travel. And that's something that takes hours and hours and hours of practice. And he's getting ready for his shot. And we'll see what he does. And the release. And he opts. He's lots of space. You see, because unless you have an aerial view, there was a lot of space there on the left for him to go in. So Eric is a bit of a sniper. So getting ready for his next shot. Donc, il se prépare pour son prochain lancer. Éric Bussière du Québec. C'est un athlète avec beaucoup d'expérience. Et on va voir combien de points qu'il va pouvoir faire dans cette manche. C'est la deuxième manche au championnat canadien, ici à Victoria, dans la catégorie BC3. Un athlète, Ryan Rondeau de l'Alberta, contre Éric Bussière du Québec. Donc là, je pense qu'avec la hauteur de la balle, il va y aller en vélocité ici. Il s'est placé une bonne balle. Il n'a pas trop peur. Là, il va arriver puis il va probablement... Voilà. Avec la force de cette balle est dure. Vous avez entendu cogner, je ne sais pas, mais moi, je l'ai entendu. C'est une balle de défense. Là. Ça, c'est la balle qu'il utilise pour créer de l'espace. Et vous voyez qu'il y a 2 points. Il faudrait que l'arbitre, la balle qui vient de lancer, est peut-être pas assez proche, pas plus proche qu'une des balles de son adversaire. Donc, c'est pour ça que oui, il y a de l'air comme il y a 3 balles autour du cochonnet, mais peut-être pas assez proche. Parce que, as I was saying in French there, Eric is in a position where his last ball is close, but there might be a closer red ball. So it eliminates his point that he may have made there. So again, it's a bit like if you know curling, closest to the dot, this closest to the jack, and so these are the same principles used in this sport. Okay. So he has a lot of time. Sometimes the athlete's a little bit pressed for time, but Eric's experience, he knows that it takes a couple of seconds to ask the referee a confirmation of the score. From my vantage points, it's 2 for sure, and she'd have to measure for the third one right now. Donc Eric se prépare pour son 5e lancé. Pointage confirmé 2. Et ça reste à être confirmé pour les autres points. Il va encore avec son dernier lancé. So every time the sport assistant they raise their hand, it's for the score. Some of our athletes are, the BC3 players are nonverbal, so they really use eye gesture, head gesture. It takes a lot of time to have the cohesion between the two. So our athletes here with the sport assistant here, Eric, sport assistant happens to be his mother, and she concedes again. Eric decides to concede the last ball. He must know what's going on with that one. It might be too hard and put his current situation at risk. So he concedes the last ball again. Donc il concède sa dernière balle parce que là, lui connaît la densité, le danger de possiblement changer le pointage en ce moment. Donc là, l'arbitre, elle va mesurer la balle rouge la plus proche. So she's going to measure the closest red ball to see if he scores more than what she thought at the beginning. So the closest red ball, if it's closer than any of the other blue, then the other blue don't count. So right now she's confirmed, and I will wait for that confirmation right now as she faces the score. 3 for blue. So the score and the second after the second end is now 5-0 for Eric Bussière from Quebec. And we are going to get ready for the third end. And they have 1 minute between ends in order to pick up the balls, regroup, and get ready for the next shot. So again, the referee is explaining to the scorekeeper the unplayed ball. And unplayed ball, again, is a decision from the athletes. They're allowed to unplay 3, 4 balls. It depends on the situation. Again, the goal is to win the game and then score. So at this level of, at this time of the tournament, this is the first round. Scores for and against, the differential of score can make the difference of positioning in the semifinals. Donc, ici, le pointage peut jouer une différence dans le différentiel des points pour sa position au niveau des semi-finales. Donc, si vous voulez nous joindre ici au Visa Sport, c'est le site qui sont en train de nous permettre d'avoir la diffusion des parties en ce moment. Visa Sport is there providing us with this wonderful opportunity to see the games, and there is also the link at the Facebook page for Bocce Canada to get the link to watch these games. So share the link, share it often, share it with everyone, and let's put Bocce on the map. Donc on s'apprête ici pour la troisième manche, third end. Just to remind you, the score 5-0 for Eric Bussière from Quebec. And Ryan is now getting ready to throw out his jack ball. He's noticed he put his extension on, so he might be thinking about going longer here. And so we'll see how far he decides to go with this third end. And he is going, and that was, again, the jack ball here. If it goes out, like we just witnessed, it has to be in play. He loses. Ryan right now has lost his jack, so Eric will get to get the jack. So Eric will be able to play the jack instead of Ryan. So this is something athletes are not too happy with that, but it happens. Again, the ball rolled out on the side. Donc, maintenant que Ryan a lancé son cochonnet à l'extérieur du terrain de jeu, il perd le cochonnet et Eric va avoir droit à lancer son cochonnet. Donc, ça, c'est définitivement une erreur de la part de l'athlète, mais ça l'arrive, surtout avec les rampes. Il a décidé d'aller le plus loin. Peut-être son ancre était trop sur le côté. C'est sûr que c'est pas une bonne position d'être dedans. Eric est content, lui, de reprendre le cochonnet et il va voir le contrôle sur cette manche. So, Eric is getting ready to throw the jack ball in this third end because Ryan was unable to keep the jack ball in play. So again, Eric opts for the short game. Again, his ball is in play because it has crossed the V line. Donc, le cochonnet a traversé la première ligne en avant, la ligne de V, la ligne de mise en jeu. Et il s'apprête à lancer sa première balle. So if you're just joining us, we're in the third end. Ryan Rondeau from Alberta has conceded the jack in the way because he could not put it in play. So Eric is taking over the third end as throwing out the first ball and the jack. So he's in a very good position. That first ball is exactly like textbook, perfect. It's in front of the jack. It's on the opponent's side. That's a perfect first ball. Donc, la première balle ici était en position parfaite. Elle est devant le cochonnet et aussi dans l'angle de son adversaire. C'est une parfaite première balle. Donc là, avec l'extension, Ryan va essayer de pousser très fort, de défaire cette situation. So Ryan is now using his extension on his ramp to get more speed. He's going to try to break that jack away from the blue ball. And that would have been very, very successful with the velocity of that ball, but he came short of the target. So the ball is out of play, cannot be used in any scoring from this point on. He's going to try a second attempt at creating some space for himself. Again, short of the target. The second ball is out of play. Okay, so he tried that. It's okay. He risked two balls in order to create a change in the situation. Now, in his mind, he's probably going, okay, I got to protect and minimize the amount of points that Eric is able to do. Again, reminding you of the point for and against differential is important at this stage of the game. So he's probably going to be starting to put a lot of traffic in front there and keeping his balls as close to this situation as possible and creating some blocks around the play. And let's see how he does. Yeah, that's good. Oh, just a little long. You would have liked that a little bit shorter, but gives me the impression that his bocce balls are on the harder side, and they're rolling. They're rolling a lot on him. They're rolling away. So a lot of ramp players have a bit of a fear of using a softer ball at the beginning because of the speed and also, I mean, an opportunity to get a different kind of balls. I can't emphasize enough. They're expensive, and they're very. There you go. So that was a very, very good shot here. At least he's closer to being able to create again an opportunity for limiting the amount of points that Eric can do. He might be an advantage right now of thinking about maybe even pulling a ball close to the back of the jack, because then it will, because that situation, Eric will just blow that right out of the park, create some space, and then and again he'd be exposing himself to a lot of points against. Donc ici, comme je disais, ce serait peut-être à son avantage même de placer une balle en arrière, mais il décide d'aller en avant encore, créer des blocs pour Eric, mais ça, c'est pas assez. La balle est un petit peu trop à la droite du jeu. Donc, on va voir. Parce que Eric, comme je vous dis, il est capable de rentrer dans des petits espaces. Il a beaucoup d'expérience. So we're in the third end here, and there's another shot from Ryan. And see, like I said, he went for the back, but just a little far. If he was a little bit closer, that would have been excellent. There it is. See, lots of space there. And all the balls from the red have been thrown out. So let's see what Eric does. He's quite open. Knowing Eric from Quebec, has a lot of space there. Let's see how many what he can do. And there's one. Definitely. Eric is at his happy place right now. Donc Eric vient de faire un autre point. Encore un joueur avec d'expérience. On va voir combien de points qu'il va pouvoir nous faire cette manche. Donc, on a la troisième manche. Et maintenant, il y a 2 points additionnels pour Eric en ce moment. C'est rien de confirmé encore. Et voilà. OK. Donc, Eric is throwing one ball after another because his opponent, Ryan from Alberta, has thrown out all his 6 balls. Actually, yes. So Eric is just going to try to make as many points as possible at this time. He's in the third end. Ryan lost the jack at the beginning of this third end. So Eric is now able to create a lot of points for himself. So the importance of playing a little more defensive. So Ryan opted for the 2 aggressive shots at the beginning, which is, it was a very decent decision to make. But he needed better blocks in order to counter a player like Eric from Quebec with world experience, international experience. He definitely needed to create more blocks. Donc, Eric va essayer de faire autant de points que possible dans cette manche à cause du point différentiel. Et aussi, ça lui donne une chance de pratiquer des choses pour les prochaines parties. So we'll see how many points he gets in. He might not have, well, there's one red ball there that could be closer. So we're adjusting the ramp. Last ball of the game. So he's putting it really, really low on the ramp. And definitely the reason for that is probably that ball is his harder ball. We'll see how it rolls. And as I said, it's a very hard ball. You can see how it rolls like just a bowling ball. So again, that's his break it out of the water ball. So right now he uses it at the end. And we'll see what the score is after this third end. Dans la troisième manche, on va voir le pointage final pour les joueurs. Il y a 4 points pour Eric ici. Donc, on est rendu à 9. Donc, après la troisième manche, le pointage pour le Québec, 9 et Ryan d'Alberta. 0. Donc, on va se préparer pour la quatrième manche. Puis, la quatrième manche, Eric va lancer le cochonnet. So, Eric will still be the one throwing out the jack. Typically, they each get a turn with the jack, and it's the fourth end right now. So, Eric will have his jack for the fourth end. Donc, le pointage, the score, after 3 ends, it's 9-0 for Eric Bussière from Quebec. If you're joining us, we're at the Canadian Boccia Championship here in Victoria, BC. Si vous venez de nous joindre, nous apprêtons à jouer la quatrième manche en catégorie BC3 ici au championnat canadien à Victoria, BC. Le pointage est de 9-0 pour Éric Bussière du Québec. Éric Bussière du Québec, numéro 301 sur le joueur 301. 3, le 3 c'est pour dire qu'il a un BC3. Et le 1, c'est pour, si je ne me trompe pas, je pense que c'est où est son ranking, sa position. Et voilà, il va aller au milieu du terrain un peu plus et vers le fond. OK. Donc, il a décidé d'aller au centre du terrain, à peu près à la hauteur du centre, au X. Donc, souvent, les athlètes utilisent cette occasion ici pour pratiquer des choses parce que le pointage est quand même, l'écart dans le pointage est assez élevé. Et donc, étant donné qu'Éric connaît ses futurs adversaires, il se peut qu'il essaye de jouer à quelque part d'autre dans le terrain pour pratiquer pour lui-même. So Eric opted here for the center of the court. Like I said, sometimes the athletes with the point differential at this point, he may be trying something for himself for the further games. He might have an opponent that likes to play there and he wants to practice there. So he will use this last end in order to explore some of these opportunity here at the mid-court. Because as you see, players will tend to gravitate towards closer to the lines. Donc, Ryan is now getting ready for his first shot. Making a decision here on which ball to use is, excuse me, his sport assistant will be making some adjustment there. I think that, okay, so he's not using his extension, so I'm thinking he's going to be playing a little bit more conservative here. Again, not trying to play too aggressive. A little bit short of the target, bit on the right. Again, with the harder balls, they tend to catch a little bit of the wood floor, and as we're playing cross of the wood grain, they can take a little bit of a turn. They're more receptive to the floor. They react more to the floor, as opposed to a softball. They tend to have take ownership on the trajectory. The floor is not as much of an effect. Oh, we have a penalty here. Part of his equipment is either touching the line. It's hard to tell, but it's either, yes. None of the equipment are allowed to touch the line. So that was going to be a penalty ball. So at the end, they'll take a ball that's further away from the play and give an extra ball to Eric to play. So Eric is now starting with not only 6 balls, he has 7 balls to play right now. So none of the equipment, the ball holder, the little stool, the ramp extension, nothing can be touching the lines. No part of the chair. Anything that's in the box has to stay in the box. Donc ici, nous avons une balle de pénalité à cause qu'il y avait une partie d'équipement. Peu importe si ce n'est pas l'équipement qu'on joue avec, la bouteille d'eau, les extensions, le le petit tabouret de l'assistant sportif, rien ne peut toucher la ligne. Donc ici, l'arbitre a réalisé durant son lancer qu'il y avait de l'équipement sur la ligne. Et donc, elle a arrêté la balle. Elle enlève la balle et maintenant, Eric va avoir 7 balles à lancer. Donc, 6 plus à la fin, elle va retirer une des balles et les balles les plus loin. Elle va remettre la balle à Eric pour avoir la chance de lancer une 7e balle. Donc, so the referee now is explaining the situation to the athletes, just to reiterate the fact that there's a penalty, and at the end, Eric will have an extra ball. So, the player doesn't lose his turn to shoot. Obviously, it's a lost ball, so it's as if he took a shot, but it didn't score or didn't beat the shot. So he keeps shooting. Like the penalty ball does not make him lose a shot. It just gives the opponent an extra shot at the end. And there it is. Seems to be a little flustered there. None of the balls are going to his target in spite of the fact that his ramp seems to be lined up. Donc, il est encore un peu frustré. Ses balles vont à droite, malgré sa rampe a de l'air enlignée selon. Mais encore, les balles un peu plus dures, ils réagissent au plancher. And there it is. That's a very nice shot. Very nice. So he keeps plugging at it, and now he's in a good position. Referee has to take a good look at that, and sometimes they have to use, it's a little paddle, very, very thin. I've seen a referee having to use a flashlight to measure. And there it is. There's the light. So it's confirmed. If it was equal distance, it would mark 1-1. But right now, it looks like Eric is still closer to the jack than from Quebec. Quebec is closer to the jack than Alberta right now. Donc, l'arbitre a confirmé avec sa petite lumière, parce que c'est tellement proche, que la balle du Québec est plus proche que la balle d'Alberta en ce moment. Donc, Alberta doit continuer à lancer pour contrer le lancer. Donc, si vous venez de nous rejoindre, nous sommes au championnat canadien ici à Victoria. Et dans la dernière manche, Québec contre Alberta. Et le pointage est 9-0 pour le Québec. So that came short of the target again. So Alberta's getting ready for shooting his last ball. So hopefully for him, he can put another one close to the jack. Maybe get a good push in there, and still possible to push his ball forward and narrow the gap and score. And that's what he's trying to do. Very good, very good. Again, very good shot. You got 2 balls in the vicinity. Unless Eric, as Eric right now is in a situation where he's kind of relaxed. His score is 9, but I'm definitely thinking he might just try to blow that apart. Because he can't, there's no risk. So we'll see what he does. But my guess is that he's going to blow that apart. Because getting in close, no chance of scoring there. Because it's too much traffic. So, yeah, if I was ready to wager, that might be my wager. Donc ici, Eric se positionne, comme j'expliquais. Là, il y a beaucoup de trafic. J'ai l'impression qu'Eric va aller avec une balle un peu plus dure pour faire d'espace. Parce qu'en ce moment, le pointage est 9-0. Mais avec la hauteur de la rampe, il va y aller avec une petite poussée. Peut-être un peu conservateur au début. On va voir. Mais encore, il y a toujours une stratégie. Et là, parce que ça dépend. Si sa balle est dure, si c'est la balle dure, puis à cette hauteur-là, elle peut défoncer. Oh. Lui, non. Eric est en train de se pratiquer pour quelque chose d'autre, là. Eric is definitely practicing to hit that because the X right there, you see the box. If the jack ball is ever thrown out during play, he needs to be able to know that he can make that shot in the middle there. So right now the focus is not on creating more points because Eric is a very good sport, and so he's just trying some strategies. And there it is, another ball in the box. Donc ici, Eric continue à essayer de mettre les balles dans la boîte. Comme je vous dis, les pointages à 9-0, en ce moment, c'est pas dans son intérêt de compter de plus en plus de points. Il compte un point en ce moment. Donc, il est en train de pratiquer pour les scénarios du futur. So people are trying to understand, why is he not trying to score more points? The score is already way up there, and Eric's a good sport. He knows that he's already scoring right here. He's conceding 2 balls. He's happy to know that he can actually put the ball in that box, which is something that might happen in the future where he has to do that. So again, showing sportsmanship. Il est un bon sportif. Il concède 2 de ses balles. Il compte un autre point. Il est en très bonne position. Puis, en ce moment, même si le pointage est autre, mais je pense qu'il est confiant qu'il avait le point en ce moment. Mais même, je ne sais pas. On va voir. L'arbitre va... les athlètes vont aller voir parce que c'est quand même proche. Quand on utilise une lumière, when we use a light to measure, athletes want to come and see because they could be a very, very important game. You cannot trust I've seen referees, not on their fault, but make some mistakes because they're only human. And when the athletes come and go, check that again and check that again. We've had like last-minute measurements that would last like a long time because it makes a difference when you're... when it's a gold medal match, you want to make sure that the score is exactly what it's supposed to be. And again, this is experienced players. New players have a tendency to have a little bit of trouble with that. They're a little bit more shy to come out and check and counter and question. Donc la fin de la partie, Eric a un autre point ici qui amène le pointage final à 10 pour le Québec et 10-0 pour le Québec, mais quand même une bonne partie des 2 athlètes. Et ça marque la fin du match ici en BC3. So at the end of this game, we have Quebec against Alberta. Quebec scoring 9-0. So very good game by both athletes. Thank you for joining us here today at the Canadian Bocce Championship in Victoria, BC. Donc, merci pour nous joindre aujourd'hui au championnat championnat canadien ici à Victoria. On vient de finir le match entre Alberta et le Québec. Un pointage de 9-0. Oh, on a oublié le dernier lancé. I think that the situation here, we forgot about the penalty ball. So we're not done. It ain't done until the last ball is thrown. So, okay, so now we're trying to figure out this the strategy for that. He's already put 3 balls in the square there, so he will get to. Okay, so there's a minute added to the clock. Donc c'était pas terminé. L'arbitre ils ont oublié le dernier point. Donc Eric va avoir le Québec va avoir une autre minute à lancer une balle pour la pénalité de la première balle. Donc, on est en train d'essayer d'ajuster ça. Donc, ils ont 1 minute pour lancer cette balle. Et il faut avertir les athlètes de 30 secondes. So, they have a minute. So, with the extra ball, I think we'll see how it proceeds. But it looks like he'll have the choice of the ball that he is going to use. And they will place the jack ball in that box, in the X. And that's why he was shooting these 3 balls there, because that has changed from the past. In the past, he used to take the ball that was further away and see if he can score another one in the current situation. Now they've changed the rule where he'll throw out actually throw out his jack ball. No, actually the jack ball is not even involved. Sorry about that. If he gets to put it in the box, he scores a point. Donc maintenant, pour le point après, pour la pénalité, c'est la boîte qui est importante. C'est pour ça qu'Éric a lancé 3 balles dans la boîte tantôt, parce qu'il savait qu'il y avait une balle pénalité. Il devait frapper pour compter un autre point. Il doit être capable de mettre la balle, sa balle, dans la boîte. Ça a changé. Dans le passé, on prenait la balle la plus loin, puis on la lançait encore dans la situation. On attend pour voir, et voilà. Donc, on attend la bite. Éric a été capable de mettre la balle dans la boîte, donc il vient de compter un point additionnel pour lui. Two additional. Oh, yeah. So he scored 2 in the last end. Yes. So the final score is not 10, but 11. Right? OK. So maintenant, c'est terminé. Le pointage final, avec la balle de punition, 11-0.